Good afternoon, my friends. Today we're back with Max's story, a truck driver doing everything he can to survive in the tough world of freight and logistics. In the last episode, Max successfully completed a delivery from Austria to the small French town of Perpignan, transporting a load of electronic equipment. The total distance was 1,467 kilometers, and it took him about 2.5 days to complete the trip. For that job, the company paid him 4,100 euros. At this point, Max's balance is just over 23,000 euros. But he's also carrying a bank loan of 120,000 euros, something he's determined to pay off as quickly as possible. After unloading, Max was almost out of legal driving time on his tachograph, so he had no choice but to pull over and get some rest. The next morning, there weren't many available jobs, which isn't surprising since Perpignan is a relatively small city with limited outgoing freight. So instead of running empty, Max picked up a short haul to the French city of Bordeaux. Bordeaux is a major city in the southwest of France, known as the center of the historic Aquitaine region and located near the Atlantic coast. I'll tell you more about this city a little later. Today's cargo is a shipment of medical equipment, with a total weight of 12 tons, a relatively light load. The distance from Perpignan to Bordeaux is just 402 kilometers, which means Max can easily complete this run in less than a day. For this delivery, the company will pay him 1,290 euros. As mentioned, the load is light, so Max can keep a good pace and minimize fuel consumption, always a win in this business. Loading starts around 11 a.m., and the plan is to drive straight through the day without stops. If everything goes smoothly, Max should arrive in Bordeaux around 5 p.m. for unloading. So, this time we've got a quick and efficient run ahead of us. Alright, time to get to work. And just like that, we're back on the road. If this is your first time on the channel, let me quickly catch you up on the story. Max came to Europe with no money, starting from scratch, and he's been working step by step toward his goal, to survive and build a life in the tough world of freight transportation. His ultimate dream is to earn 1 million euros. He's operating under completely realistic conditions. No shortcuts, no easy mode. Everything is as real as it gets. We're using minimum freight rates, just like in real life, along with real fuel prices and actual diesel consumption for the truck. On top of that, there are harsh weather conditions, heavy fines for speeding, unexpected situations on the road, and even road closures. Life as a long-haul driver isn't easy. Max has to deal with rough, damaged roads and strict delivery deadlines. If he misses a delivery window, he faces major penalties from transport companies, and in some cases, he could end up earning nothing at all. Max isn't a machine, he needs rest. If he pushes too far beyond legal driving limits, not only will he face heavy fines, but he also risks falling asleep behind the wheel and crashing his truck. The truck's handling and behavior are designed to be as realistic as possible. Stability is reduced to a minimum, meaning the truck and trailer can easily tip over in a turn. The braking system is also realistic, with longer stopping distances, especially when hauling a heavy load. All in all, this is as real as it gets, and that's what makes it exciting. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and leave a comment. After each delivery, Max reads them all and does his best to respond. Let's support him on this journey and help him reach his goal of earning 1 million euros. And if you missed any of the previous episodes, you can always find them in the playlist on the channel or through the link at the end of each story. Thanks for your support. Max truly appreciates it. Alright, here we go, back on the road again. And to make the journey feel a little shorter, let me tell you about the city where today's trip begins. We're talking about the large and well-known French city of Bordeaux. Alright, let's take a journey to one of France's most elegant and historically rich cities, Bordeaux. Located in the southwest of the country, Bordeaux is the kind of place that doesn't overwhelm you at first glance, but slowly draws you in with its charm. Its golden stone buildings glow in the sunlight, wide boulevards stretch into the distance, and there's a calm, confident atmosphere that makes you feel like every corner has a story to tell. To really understand Bordeaux, we need to go back to its earliest days. Long before it became famous, this area was home to Celtic tribes. Later, the Romans arrived and founded a city called Bordeaux. Thanks to its strategic location, it quickly grew into a major hub for trade and craftsmanship. Even back then, the foundations were being laid for what would eventually become one of the most important cities in the region. As time went on, Bordeaux entered a fascinating chapter of its history when it came under English rule. This happened after the marriage of Eleanor of Aquitaine and Henry II. During this period, trade, especially wine, exploded. Bordeaux became a key supplier of wine to England, and that connection helped turn the city into a wealthy and internationally recognized center of commerce. Moving forward, Bordeaux experienced a major transformation. The city was redesigned with elegance in mind. Wide squares, harmonious architecture, and impressive public spaces began to define its look. One of the most iconic places is Place de la Bourse. This stunning square perfectly reflects the city's classical style, and right in front of it is the famous water mirror, where the buildings reflect on a thin layer of water, creating a surreal and almost dreamlike view. As you continue exploring, you'll come across the magnificent Grand Theatre of Bordeaux. With its grand columns and detailed sculptures, it stands as a symbol of the city's cultural life. Inside, it hosts opera and ballet performances, keeping the spirit of classical art alive. And then, there's the spiritual side of Bordeaux. The impressive Bordeaux Cathedral, also known as the Cathedral of St. Andrew, dominates the skyline with its powerful and historic presence. Nearby stands the Pays Berlin Tower, where you can climb up and take in a breathtaking view of the entire city. Not far from there, the Basilica of St. Michael adds another layer of history with its tall bell tower and deep-rooted past. But Bordeaux isn't just about architecture and history. The city's waterfront areas have become vibrant spaces where locals and visitors gather to walk, relax, and enjoy the atmosphere. Street performers, open spaces, and scenic views all come together to create a laid-back but lively environment. Of course, no story about Bordeaux would be complete without talking about wine. This region is world famous for it. Endless vineyards surround the city, producing some of the finest wines on the planet. Here, winemaking isn't just a business. It's a tradition, an art form, and a way of life passed down through generations. At the same time, Bordeaux is a modern and evolving city. It has successfully blended its deep historical roots with contemporary development. New cultural centers, museums, and public spaces continue to appear, all while respecting the city's classic identity. In the end, Bordeaux is more than just a beautiful destination. It's a place with character, depth, and a unique rhythm. It doesn't try to impress you instantly. Instead, it invites you to explore, to slow down, and to truly experience everything it has to offer. And that wraps up our short virtual tour of our destination, the large, fascinating, and famous French city of Bordeaux. If you enjoyed it and learned something new, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Max's channel. Your support really means a lot to him as he takes on the tough challenges of life on the road. Thanks in advance, and now, Max continues the journey. And just like that, we've arrived at our destination, the major French city of Bordeaux. The cargo, a container filled with medical equipment from Perpignan, is now being unloaded at a logistics warehouse, and Max can finally take a break after a full day on the road. Today's trip covered 402 kilometers, a short and efficient run that Max handled with ease in just a few hours. For this delivery, Max earned 1,290 euros. That means another productive day is in the books, and he's one step closer to his ultimate goal. After subtracting fuel and road expenses, his total balance now stands at 23,879 euros. At this point, Max owns a brand new Volvo FH 2026 with a 500 horsepower engine, along with his own 3-axle curtain-side trailer. He's still carrying a bank loan of 120,000 euros, but despite that, Max stays focused and keeps pushing forward. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more of Max's adventures on the road, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on notifications. Trust me, there's a lot more ahead, new routes, new challenges, and plenty of unexpected moments waiting just around the corner. Don't miss a single episode of this journey, and stay with us on the road.